Ryan and Curtis are nominated for eviction, but what will this week's Golden Power Veto competition entail? Find out now on Big Brother Cheesecake 4 Office Wars. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 4 Office Wars. It's day 47 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week, Lindsay is the head of household from customer service, meaning Lindsay, Nick, and CJ are safe this week. Lindsay nominated Ryan and Curtis for eviction, but the Golden Power Veto can still change the nominations. Who will win it? You'll find out tomorrow. And what will this week's competition be? We'll find out shortly. But first, yesterday, well, it was late Thursday night, but yesterday I watched a Reality Realness with Chantel, Jojo, Jonathan, and the evicted house guests last week, Brandon and Megan. And once again, I thought they did a fantastic job. And I took some notes, and so let's quickly go through it. So, Jojo's legs. So, I thought when he put his legs up, as the classic JoJo sitting position with his knees up to his face, I thought he was making fun of the fact that when I did the impression of that, but he was wearing shorts with the suit, and when he did it, the look on his face when he put his feet back down the first time, I think it was around the 22-minute mark, was like, and it was so funny, just the reaction. I loved it. But then he still, every 10 minutes, he put his legs up anyway, so it didn't make a difference. The Sapphire Power Veto. How the three of you who played last season with the Sapphire Power Veto in play for the first 5 weeks or so didn't, and there was a kind of controversial moment in week 3 with it. None of you know what the Sapphire Power Veto does. I was like, what? And it's funny because the Emerald Veto was brought up, and Chantel's like, "Oh, the Emerald Veto? It didn't affect me. I still won." The Sapphire Power Veto? Nah, didn't bother me. I still won. She didn't say I still won, but you could tell by her body language that she's like, "Nah, none of those things mattered." So the Sapphire Power Veto allows you, or Brandon ended up going home with it, so he gets to keep it as a souvenir. It allows you the power to veto a veto. So if the veto is used to save one of the two nominees, you can veto that and the veto won't be used. Or if the veto is not used, the golden veto, you can use the Sapphire Power Veto to reverse that and to use the golden veto. The exception is that if a nominee wins the golden veto, you can't veto that because they are allowed to take themselves off and get safety, because winning the golden veto should always guarantee you safety. So last season, who was head of household? Jojo was head of household. Krista and Adam went up. Alvin won the veto, and that's when Alvin chose not to use it, and Krista decided to reverse that decision and basically hijack the Golden Power Veto onto herself with the Sapphire Veto, and she was safe. And then Jojo had to nominate, I believe it was Rhonda, in Krista's place. What the controversial part of it last season was in week 3, Charlene, who was nominated, won the Golden Veto, and I forgot in the premiere to specify that rule, even though it was meant to be in place. And so everybody wanted Krista to use the Sapphire Power Veto on Charlene to prevent her from saving herself. And then I got involved and said, no, if a nominee wins, they're safe. And a few people got upset over it, but it wasn't a big deal. I don't think Krista actually would have used the Sapphire Power Veto to reverse Charlene's veto, because that's a bad move to waste it on somebody else so early when Krista did need it 2 weeks later. And it would have been a bad move to play it, but so it still kind of became a controversial point. But I was just shocked that the three of them just forgot what it did. And that's why Brandon, I think Chantel asked why Brandon didn't use it. CJ won the Topaz veto, so Brandon couldn't reverse that. So it had no power that week. But if a non-nominee, so Brenda, Kat, or if the head of household, Curtis, won the Topaz power veto, then Brandon could have reversed their decision to use it. Anyway, moving on, the rogue vote. So Jonathan actually, I don't know if he knows this or not. I think I don't know if he misspoke or if he was mistaken. But misspoke being you say the wrong words, mistaken meaning you just said the wrong thing. But Jonathan cast a rogue vote the week before the double, and then the double happened, and Jonathan was explaining in the video in Reality Realness why he couldn't vote to save Krista. But there were 2 votes against Krista, 2 against Nicole, and 1 against Lynn. Jonathan, who voted against Krista, let me just make sure of that, but I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, he voted against Krista. Had he changed his vote to Lynn, Nicole and Lynn would have been evicted because Nicole would have had 2, Lynn would have had 2, and Krista would have had 1. So Jonathan could have saved her that week, but I don't think he wanted to do the rogue vote twice. But then he said, sorry, Krista, if I had changed my vote to Lynn, it wouldn't have mattered. Well, it would have mattered. So I'm not sure if he was mistaken or if he misspoke. Difference there. Okay, season 4 being better than season 3. Yes, so far season 4 is being better than season 3. I don't think it's because of the department twist. Because in this season, sales is just Brenda. She's just talking to me. Warehouse is just Curtis and Marcin, but they're barely talking. Accounting and customer service, they talked a lot in the beginning, but now those chats are dead too. As opposed to season 2 where Hufflepuff and Gryffindor were talking every week. A lot. And Ravenclaw, even though they broke apart, they were still using their Ravenclaw chat to say, to pledge war on each other. I remember Dylan saying to Ashley, are you looking forward to me exposing you as a rat? And Ashley took a screenshot, posted it in the main chat, and said, yes, Dylan, I'm looking forward to you exposing me as a rat. So, which was pretty funny. But I don't think it's because of that. I think partially because people are telling me more information, but also because there's more drama. I do believe there's more strategy, more alliances. It's not one person following the leader. There's lots of different opinions. This is the first week. I was kind of worried about Ryan and Curtis just having HOHs back and forth. But with Lindsay in power, the power has shifted. In season 3, from about the time Jonathan won head of household week 2, pretty much all the way to the end, nobody outside of people working with Chantal ever had HOH. So Chantal and her posse they were debating who were the real people in charge, but really Chantal was at the top of that Russian doll. And so really, everybody from week 2 on did Chantal's bidding, pretty much, or what she wanted. So there was no dissension within the group. And so that led to less drama besides Alvin. And so I think that's why so far season 4 is beating season 3. It's not beating season 2. That's still my favorite season, but there's still 40-something days left to go, so you never know. All-Stars. They were talking about whether Chad and Charlene should be in All-Stars. You know, like I said to Kristen and Nicole, I've been going back and forth. At first they were not. Then I put them on, and then I took them off last week, and I still don't know. I know exactly which 4 people I want from season 2, and that's never changed. But season 1 and season 3 is a revolving door, and I keep going back and forth and rearranging it. Like, really, it's been a weekly thing where I'm really not sure which 4 people from each of those seasons would work. So we'll see. Jojo's laptop. He was all happy that he got some laptop from Dildos R Us, Ryan's work. And the laptop I thought was worse than the phone. I mean, it constantly froze. You constantly couldn't hear him. The picture was a lot blurrier. It wasn't as clear as when he was on his phone. I mean, other than the battery dying on the phone, I thought the phone was a better image, which says a lot considering it's a brand new laptop and probably an old phone. So anyway, but it was funny. Jonathan's secret. Oh, Jojo went to pee at the worst possible time because Chantel asked Jonathan what was the secret that I was going to discuss. And Jonathan really didn't want me to talk about it, even though I think it's such a minor issue or minor thing that really means nothing. Yeah, it's not game related, and I get that Jonathan doesn't want to talk about personal shit, but it was really minor. And Jonathan started to get into it and didn't really finish, and then Jojo came back and the topic changed. But anyway, it's the ball's in his court for that. Oh, and then last but not least, Troyzan was real. He did come in. It's funny how Chantel remembered that the Troyzan said hot tamale and that Alvin was a mean son of a gun. She actually remembered those verbatim, which means somebody showed her the jury house chat, which we'll be talking about later this week. But yeah, that actually was Troyzan. I made that Facebook account for him. I told him that, the password, I think the email was mine and the password was Dan Touches Girls because we had just finished that horrible season of Survivor. And yeah, so this is Troyzan. He sent this to me. Andrew, my man, fear the green monster. Troyzan, because notice the green monster. Yes. And what's funny is Evil Dick constantly talks about how the men have to wear underwear because it gives Andrew boners, and that's the only reason production does it. And it is true. Here's Anaconda Chris, winner of season 38. I mean, if that isn't an anaconda, I don't know what is. Then we have Michelle Nash's favorite. Shout out to Michelle Nash, fellow backyard Big Brother house guest and future Big Brother Cheesecake house guest. Tommy from season 39. And finally, I always have a picture of this. Big Brother 13's Kalia shaving her vagina in the HOH bathtub because with wine. Because why not? Okay, so yeah. So Reality Realness was fantastic. I love the slight little things they said about Lisa and Charlene, which was funny, and the fuck yous to Chad. Yeah. Before I get to the rules to the head of household, or excuse me, the Golden Power Veto competition, Lindsay and Curtis, I mentioned that somebody told Curtis off for nominating them last week. That was Lindsay, which I can reveal now because it's old news. And yeah, Lindsay basically sent him a message telling him to grow a pair, and you should have picked a side. And the side you should have picked was our side, not the other side. Oh, I forgot to mention, CJ's alliance name of the day is the Sword Swallowers. That's her alliance because they swallowed the sword that Brendan fell on. Every day the alliance names change. I think they had the Black Queens. They had the Lit Clits. They had Steamtown Mall, Field Trip, Advanced Refrigeration. Yeah. So anyway, so Lindsay told Curtis off, and then obviously we saw what happened yesterday with the nomination ceremony, and Lindsay's at that pivotal point in the game, and we've seen it quite a bit in Big Brother history where it's a matter of, is it too early of putting up the two arguably biggest threats in the house? And, we saw James in season 17 putting up Clay and Shelley. We saw Big Brother celebrity Ariadna putting up Shannon Elizabeth and James Matlow. Season 4, Erica puts up Justin and Robert. Season 5 of US, Diane puts up Jason Scott. Where it's basically just, I'm going to make the big power move just right then and there. Even season 13, Danielle putting up Brenchel was sort of, you're the two that are in charge, so the two of you have to go up. And there's one other one that I remembered, but I can't. I think season 4. I can't remember who did it of Canada, but whoever put up Kelsey and Jared, that was another one. So it happens quite a bit. It doesn't happen recently in Big Brother US because people are pussies and just do whatever the leader says. But this season it happened where Lindsay just said, you know what, you're the two strongest people, you're going up, and it's a question of, is it too early? I mean, we'll know next week, because Lindsay has kind of expressed, now I put myself on the map and I could go next week. And I don't think it's too early. There's 9 people left. I think it was the right move. Most of the Reality Realist people agreed this was the right time to do it. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you can argue she hasn't done well in competition, so she might not get the chance again to do this. And yeah, so we'll see. If Ryan gets evicted this week, Ryan and I have had a back and forth on something where we kind of disagree on something, and if Ryan gets evicted this week, I have to give my opinion on something that I think Ryan did very, very wrong last week. But he thinks it was the right move. I think it was the wrong move. But I can't say. And in the event he gets evicted, or whenever he gets evicted or wins, it'll be a talking point. Yeah. So that's about it. It's now time to... Whoa! I've talked for a while. The episodes this season have been longer because there's just more content to talk about. Hence why Season 4 is better. Whoops. Okay, the Golden Power... Oh, and Chantal has been petitioning for more videos. Like I said, I do like the competitions as they are. But one more time for Chantal this season, I am going to have a bit of video content in this week's Golden Power Veto competition, which is called It's brand new. I told everyone that Lindsay's brother, Chris, would have done fantastic in this and would have won. And so then they all thought, well, what is it? What is it? What is it? But I don't know. I think he would have won. And my prediction, I shouldn't be doing this, but just because this is a very interesting comp for me and it's new, I think it's going to be very, very close between Nick, Curtis, and Ryan. No offense to the girls. It's not at all sexist, but I just think those three are very well suited for this comp. I would be stunned if CJ wins this. I would fall on the floor and just be like, what? Yeah. So prove me wrong, CJ. This competition is called Big Brother Total Recall. And here's how it works. I will post in the group chat a link to a YouTube video. The YouTube video is somewhere around 10 minutes in length. We will all watch the video at once, so we'll all, click around the same time. It won't be exact, but as soon as I post the link, click on it, because we're starting. Once we're done the video, I will then, in the group chat, one at a time, pose 10 true or false questions about the video you just watched. You will have 10 seconds on each question to submit true or false privately to me. 10 seconds. If you miss the cutoff, it doesn't count, or it doesn't count for you, and you get it wrong automatically. So be very quick. 10 seconds. And make sure wherever you're from, your internet connection is working, you have data, battery's fine, because if you die out, you die out. So 10 questions, one at a time. You'll have 10 seconds on each question. Now, you all said after the Scrabble competition that if you told us not to use a generator, we wouldn't have. So I'm kind of going with a bit of an honor system here. You are not allowed to have anybody else compete in this competition with you. So no Brom, no Chris, no Jaden, no Kane, no boyfriend, no girlfriend. No one in Ryan's family gives a shit. So, yeah, you have to do it all by yourself. And you are not allowed to use the modern day technology of pen and paper to take notes while you watch. It's called Big Brother Total Recall, so it's all about what you can remember. No taking notes on pen and paper or on your phone or any of that shit. And you're only going to have 10 seconds to answer each question anyway. So even if you take notes, by the time you actually go through them, I actually don't... the 10 seconds to respond, I think, negates that anyway. Then, we will all go on a Zoom video chat. I don't think I need Ryan's Dildos R Us corporate account because it's just going to be to reveal the winner. But we're going to go on Zoom, so everybody send me your emails at some point today if you can. And I will reveal the results. We're going to go one at a time and reveal who won the Golden Power of Veto. Okay, with that said, who will win the Golden Power of Veto? Find out tomorrow as we have the results of the Total Recall Power Veto competition. Monday is the Golden Power Veto ceremony. Will the winner choose to use it to save Ryan or Curtis from the chopping block? And who would Lindsay nominate in their place? Tuesday is when the final final two nominees plead their case, and we learn the rules of the next Head of Household competition. And Wednesday is the next live eviction and Head of Household competition. Another house guest will be fired from Dunder Mifflin, evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake 4 house, lose their shot at the $400 Cheesecake Factory gift card, and become the first member of the jury. I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Take care, and we leave you as we eavesdrop on the house guest. Good night.